Hey guys, what's up? It's Monkey. I'm back for another video. In today's video, we will be continuing What If Cell Went Back Too Far. Yes, this What If looks at the idea of if Cell had gone back too far in time. Now let's not waste any time because you probably already know the basic idea of this What If you've watched up to this point. So yes, Cell has gone too far back in time, all the way to the start of Dragon Ball, and we've been following his adventure. Obviously, I've seen this done before with the Future Trunks version, but we're going to be switching it up with a villain. Before we get into this, make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe. As well as that, make sure you turn post notifications on, hit that bell, and make sure you share the video. As well as that, make sure you check out my Instagram and just make sure you do all of that good stuff to support your boy. And with all that said, let's get right into it. So, it has been 5 years since Goku won the World Martial Arts Tournament with Kami. Since then, things have gone essentially like in the original. Goku has basically just been living with Chi-Chi and raising Gohan. Occasionally, he does train and Cell visits from time to time, and Cell has been awaiting the arrival of Raditz. Remember guys, Cell knows what's going to happen in the story, so he knows when Raditz will arrive. And of course, Goku is unaware of this because Cell doesn't tell him. However, Cell does tell Kami because, you know, he's kind of like the god of Earth. So, yeah, Cell would prepare himself for not only Raditz, but also Vegeta and Nappa, having a eccentric plan ready for the three Saiyans. Now, Cell quite enjoyed spending time with Goku. It has become his personal favourite hobby. And it was something that Chi-Chi wasn't all too keen about. I mean, just look at Cell. Yeah, Gohan was sort of similar to his mother, in the aspect that he didn't really trust Cell. I mean, he's a literal giant bugman. The only one who seemed to really trust Cell was Goku. But, you know, Chi-Chi didn't really mind it. I mean, it's not like Cell was causing any harm. She just rather not have a giant creature coming into her house, which was understandable. So Krillin would increase in strength a bit, as would Tien and Yamcha. They were all quite a bit stronger, training with Master Roshi. Now, one thing I must emphasize is that besides Goku and Kami, nobody is really on Frieza level in terms of strength. Don't get me wrong, they're all quite powerful, but Frieza, he is really powerful. He's on another level. Now, Raditz would eventually arrive, crashing into the Earth. He would emerge, and the farmer with a shotgun would not be the one to greet him. Yes, it would not be the strongest character. It would instead be Cell, because this is a Cell what if, obviously. So Raditz immediately tried to read Cell's power level with a scouter, and oh boy, that was a bad move. The scouter immediately blew up, shocking Raditz. He looked confusingly at Cell. I have come for Kakarot. Cell smirked. I know you have. Raditz was even more confused. Who was this strange bugman, and how did he know that he was after Kakarot? Cell then immediately powered up, sending a burst of energy, terrifying Raditz, who was flung back. Cell decided he was going to try and get Raditz to join him. He knew Vegeta would be a hard task, and Nappa didn't really need Nappa, but Raditz, he felt, would be easy to convince. He was going to go down that Kami route, yes, so Cell would smirk. Raditz, I know of Vegeta and Nappa, and judging by your reaction, you can probably tell that I'm far stronger than them. I think it would be in your best interests to join me, as you could probably become stronger, and you wouldn't have to serve under Frieza. Now, if you really look at what Cell's just offered Raditz, you'd realise that Raditz doesn't really have a choice. If he says no, Cell's going to basically just kill him, and on the off chance that he did let him go, he would end up back with Vegeta, who would mock him as well as Nappa, and go back to his old life serving under Frieza. Now, Raditz wasn't sure if he would accept, because now, I feel like Raditz would accept, though, because let's look at the facts. If we really look at him, Raditz has always seemed to be a survivor. He was always rather sneaky, snarky, he always told lies. He wasn't exactly your defined version of a Saiyan. He wasn't a proud warrior. That definition would more fit Vegeta. So Raditz didn't exactly want to die, so he would probably accept the side that seemed better at survival, to which Cell would smile, all according to Cake. So Cell would then bring Raditz and introduce him to Goku. Raditz was of course very hesitant because he was just evil a second ago, and now he kind of just has to turn good if he doesn't want to die. And so Raditz would meet Goku and his family. Now Goku would immediately take to Raditz. He was shocked to find out about his Saiyan heritage, and he was happy to have another sparring partner as well as a friend and family, because it's his brother. So Chi-Chi and Gohan would also take to Raditz quite well. They would all be happy to meet Raditz. And Raditz would also go on to meet all of the Z fighters, as well as Krillin, and the rest of the gang. They all seemed to quite accept Raditz. I mean, they weren't really opposed to him, because obviously they didn't see any of the damage that Raditz could cause. So Raditz would go off to live with Goku, and he would train with Cell and Goku. Now, Goku would be able to widely change Raditz's outlook on life. He would change greatly, getting rid of the armor completely and wearing the turtle hermit gi. He was a new, changed person, and now I must admit, after a year of Raditz training, also going into the time chamber once, Raditz was a new and improved person in my opinion. He now looks sick. I mean, he looks fucking epic, bro. Now, Vegeta and Nappa would eventually arrive, but Cell explained to them all that only Kami, Cell, and Raditz would be needed to go and greet Vegeta and Nappa. Now, Cell was quite worried about Vegeta and the events of future Trunks being born, as well as him going back in time. So they arrived, facing off against Vegeta and Nappa. Now, as you would expect, Vegeta would mock Raditz extensively, to which Cell told Raditz, "Show them what you've learned, Raditz." Raditz would then smile with pleasure. He then powered up to Ikari, shocking Nappa and Vegeta. He would then go in and one-shot Nappa, a single blast, killing him in an instant. Vegeta was amazed. What? No, this is impossible. How are you so powerful? To which Raditz laughed. Well, Vegeta, I suppose you couldn't tell. However, I have been living on Earth for the past year, and I am now a changed person. I no longer serve under Frieza, and my power has increased exponentially. Although it would bring me great joy, I am not allowed to kill you. Cell then stepped forward. Yes, I have other plans for you, Vegeta. To which Kami then took out a sort of jar. Cell then told Vegeta, I don't know the repercussions to your death, so I suppose, Vegeta, that I shall seal you. Vegeta then looked angrily at Cell. What? Seal me? How dare you? I'm not going in that thing. I am Prince Vegeta, an elite Saiyan warrior. I shall not be defeated by a low-class scum and a weird bugman I've never seen before. Raditz, how could you betray me? How could you betray Frieza? You should be serving under me, serving under Frieza. How dare you betray me? I will make sure Frieza comes and kills all of you. All of you. Vegeta marked Earth with his scouter, alerting Frieza of what had happened. Now, Frieza was of course getting ready to go to Namek, having heard about the Dragon Balls on there, so he obviously wanted to go. So he decided that after he was done with Namek, he shall pay a visit to Earth. Now, of course, Frieza is, we're not sure if Frieza's going to be making it to Earth anytime soon, but he's definitely going to be going to Namek, to which Cell smirked. Smart move, Prince. He then yelled, but I think your time is up. Evil containment wave. To which a wave of green energy swept Vegeta up, grabbing Vegeta, throwing him into the jar, and putting a seal on it. They had sealed him away. Cell thought it was probably better to seal Vegeta than to kill him, and so Vegeta was sealed away into the jar. Cell decides to just leave Vegeta in the mountains where he'll remember him, memorizing, of course, where Vegeta's is. Now, of course, you're probably wondering why Vegeta did not die and instead was sealed away. Now, Cell knew that future Trunks would be travelling back in time in the original. Now, he had obviously altered the timeline considerably, and he was a bit worried what would happen if he would, kill people that weren't supposed to die. He had, of course, replaced Piccolo, but he knew that Piccolo wouldn't really do too many major events besides just keeping the Dragon Balls around and raising Gohan, which he could do himself. Vegeta, however, would birth Trunks, and Cell was a bit worried, so he decided that he would just leave Vegeta sealed for now. Now, Cell would then go off to Goku's house and explain to Goku what had happened, to which he would then explain all of Frieza and Namek. Now, Cell explained that he didn't want anyone actually coming to Namek anytime soon. He only wanted Goku and Raditz to go, so surprisingly, Cell explains that he and Kami shall go to Namek, and then after that, Goku and Raditz will come too, which means that Gohan will not be going to Namek, nor will Krillin or any other Z fighter for that matter. Now, one thing I'd like to mention is Gohan. Yes, he has been training with the Azaru form, with Goku wanting him to learn it, and he now has pretty decent control. As well as that, he also still has his tail, which is good. And so does Raditz. Now, Goku doesn't have his tail, but he'll probably eventually wish it back just because, you know, he doesn't really need it, but it's a good thing to have. So Cell and Kami get on the ship, the Namekian ship that Kami owns, and they depart for Namek. Meanwhile, Goku and Raditz wait for their ship to be built by Dr. Briefs. Now, Cell had actually told Dr. Briefs in advance to build the ship a lot earlier, which means it will be sooner built than in the original, which means in a matter of days, Goku and Raditz will be off to Namek, so they won't be having to wait for long. Meanwhile, Cell and Kami would eventually make their way and land on Namek. Cell explains to Kami that he planned to just kill Frieza off, and kill all of the Frieza's Force soldiers. He didn't really see a need to, leave any of these guys alive, and they would probably just get in his way. Kami was, of course, a bit confused as to why Cell was telling him this, to which they then exited the spaceship. Cell would not be holding anything back. He needed to make sure Goku and Raditz would eventually achieve Super Saiyan, and he needed to make sure that Frieza would die to keep the timeline, not too different. He smirked at Kami as it seems to have, it seems to have gone well, essentially, is what Cell's thinking. He's got the timeline in a pretty decent order. He hasn't really altered too many things. Obviously, he's made things go his way, but Cell would then be a bit conflicted. He obviously needs to kill Frieza, and he doesn't really know what he's going to do after he kills Frieza, because after Frieza should come the androids. So Cell's not too sure. Is he really going to just betray everyone and destroy the life he's built for power to be the strongest in the universe? Or should he stay good and maybe live a life of peace? He's been really conflicted over this, and he still doesn't know. And it seems that after Namek, he may have to decide what he's going to do with the possible arrival of the androids. So this has been a pretty interesting part, and I think we'll definitely end it there, because Cell's adventure on Namek is about to begin. So let's see where things go in the next part. Of course, a lot of things have been set up for future parts, and this was pretty interesting. Now, of course, I'm trying to make the story as interesting as possible, so if you did enjoy it, make sure you leave a like and make sure you subscribe, as it lets me know you're interested in the video. And if you want to see more and you want to tell me your thoughts down below in the comments, just make sure you comment down below. What did you think of Raditz turning good and achieving Ikari? I know this was a pretty short part, but that is mainly because, I have been pretty busy. So yeah, that's why this one isn't, as long as possible. But I promise you, the next parts of What If Cell Went Back Too Far, you are going to enjoy them. This one was mainly just setting things up. We had Raditz turning good and Vegeta and Nappa being killed, as well as the start of the Namek saga, which we'll be closing off in the next part. Not going to spend any time on it, to be honest with you, because there is really no point. Now, of course, let me know all of your thoughts with what's happened. What did you think of Nappa being killed so easily? And of course, Vegeta actually not being killed and Cell being smart, trying to avoid certain situations, and him actually sealing Vegeta away. Now, what do you think will happen on Namek with Frieza? I'm interested to hear all of your thoughts. So I'd like to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy. I'll see you all in the next video. Laters.